Ready? Lightning round?
Let's go.
Okay. Okay. Would you rather be right or be loved?
Be loved. Be right in what sense? Just like right?
Like right every time you're in an argument or you're
I
having a
don't need to be right.
conversation?
I'd rather be loved.
I'd rather be loved.
Yeah, I don't need to be right.
Me neither. And also, like, why are you always right? Like, what are you
what
talking about that you always need to be right?
Right.
No, loved. Okay. Would you rather have chemistry or emotional safety?
Emotional safety.
Emotional safety.
Chemistry
It's fleeting.
It's fleeting. And it ebb and flows
Yes. All right. Would you rather date someone who communicates too much or date someone who doesn't communicate enough?
Too much. There's no such thing as over communicating. Unless you just like to talk and it doesn't make sense.
I mean, I'd rather have over communication for the sake of understanding than not enough communication and there are pockets and we dropping a ball and something's getting missed.
Yeah.
All right. Last one. Would you rather be pursued or be the person pursuing?
Pursued. I don't pursue. I don't believe in shooting my shot
anymore.
I don't. Where have I shot my shot?
I mean, you were brave
to initiate a talking to somebody.
Yeah, I feel like
who did I shoot my shot with?
I don't know, but I always feel like you were carrying the relationship. Maybe that's it.
That's different than
you didn't shoot your shot. Obviously, I don't chase either. I'm always going to be old school and choose to be pursued for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll get back to that mid-show.
My name's Xavier.
And I'm Linda. And this is Shift Happens.
One thing life has taught us is that whether you like it or not, shift happens.
We're just two friends making the best of every moment, trying to roll with those punches while creating memories and laughing through it all. First question. When did relationships become a competition? We see it all over social media, tables when we go out, like when you're out with friends, it's always coming up in conversation. So what is this competition within relationships, or when did it start?
I mean, there's a lot of gender wars, right? There's like men do this and women do that, and it does like lend itself to competing. What are we competing for? What are we arguing about? And I think, that's a lot of the conversation too, where men are saying women are more masculine.
I am almost tired of that conversation.
Yeah, but I think that too, those people of that mindset would say women are competing with men, trying to be men. So I don't know. I don't know when this all started.
I think competition in relationships, I think it started when women joined the workforce back in the 50s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we started taking certain positions that could have gone to men.
Mm-hmm.
And the men who worked in certain places, even though they might have been like having affairs, not everybody, or have eye candy or something like that, it still became, what if I want a position? Now it's between me and some woman. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that when a woman starts to work and have independence or an income, it becomes a competition because she no longer has to ask you for anything. She can ask you things out of respect, but then she's sort of leading her own way.
Yeah.
And as she's leading her own way, you feel like you've been left behind. And so the competition is then you keep up with her, or, I feel like most women who are minding their business, and again, this is men versus women type of conversation, they don't even realize they're competing. Like you just sort of go after your personal goal. And I think insecure people, or if this is man versus woman, an insecure person will feel like their partner is competing instead of just going to the next level.
Yeah. So with a competition, when you are competing, you're trying to be better than the other person. You're measuring yourself against that person, where it's I have to prove myself better than them. And I think that just doesn't make sense. I recently heard something with, I don't know if you heard of Pinky Cole,
Mm-hmm.
and her husband. They both are in the food
Yeah.
industry, and she was on an interview, and Cam Newton asked her, like, "Are you and your husband in competition?" She emphatically, her first response was, "Yes, yes, we are in competition," because um, I'm over here doing this, and if I see him doing something, I'm like, okay, I gotta raise the bar, and that was her perspective. She kind of went a roundabout way and said they're not like trying to be better than each other, but rather than motivate each other in a healthy competition. I I still don't like that term, like competing, because it's saying, you know, I have to measure myself against you, and competition isn't in a relationship ever healthy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think a natural competitive spirit means you are striving to win, and
Yeah,
you're striving to outperform,
yeah.
outrace, outdo the
The,
competition.
yeah.
And you're right, when you're in a relationship, your partner and you should be striving towards the same goal. And there
Winning
shouldn't,
together.
yeah, and it really shouldn't be like at a certain pace, like I got to go further than him. If you, I don't even know what that means or looks like.
I
You know
don't
what I
get it.
mean?
I
Because
don't get
I'm
it.
I'm
Like,
very team oriented,
yeah,
and my greatest joy is working alongside of somebody.
yeah.
And yeah, there's no competition. It's just like I do my part, they do theirs, and hopefully we're further along than we were the last time or when we started. Um,
That's team, right? You
yeah,
recognize everybody has
yeah,
their strength, and you usually choose your team based on where the holes are. And so, if your strength is here and my strength is here, we can't compete, because that's your area. So I'm gonna let you flourish in your area. I'm gonna flourish in mine. We're gonna get to the same goal using our collective strengths.
yeah.
Like, you can't
Yeah,
compete.
that's teamwork
Yeah.
101. I wouldn't. Yeah, so again, the question is, when did these relationships become a competition? Another thing, I think it became a competition, when social media started, because whichever one, and again, I don't want to say a woman will watch social media or a man, but
Yeah.
whoever's watching social media, the person that's like completely engaged within it, they might look at a different couple, right, or a
Mm-hmm.
different wife or different spouse or husband, and say, "Ooh, I'm not doing enough." Or my partner isn't doing enough because on
Yeah.
social media they travel to Bali, they got a big house,
They're so in
they are
love.
so in love, and
Yeah.
then the competition starts now where you're like, all right, baby, get up, we gotta go to Bali, be so in love online,
Right.
and whatever. So you are putting that pressure on yourself. Competition is also recognizing that you're putting pressure on yourself. And again, it's not unhealthy, but it shouldn't be against your other partner.
Right.
So I think that the danger is just measuring yourself up to someone else and thinking that there's an end goal. Their end goal is the same as yours. And
Mm-hmm.
the competition is you. Also, let me retract really quick. Relationship competition starts when you don't have a plan that you discuss together. Because if you had a plan and you guys are aligned, then you both are going the same way to the same goal.
And I would also lend the idea of, do you believe in the man being the leader? Because if that's your core belief, then there's no competition. Of course, in my ideal situation, the man would lead, but also value my input to wherever we're going, and we would be going in a certain direction. So there will be a program.
Yep.
Everybody's agreed with the program, and we're moving forward. You can't compete in that environment, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
The tricky thing is what I'm I'm realizing that it is a generation thing, right?
That's
When we
true.
say a man is going to lead, nowadays we don't like to use gender even. So I don't know if a man leading suits everybody because it's basically, how do you identify, right? So I think the thing is make a plan together and who's the person that's organized, who carries the strength in helping meet that goal, who can basically who can get us there, all together in one piece with everything we need. Because an organizer might be the person who lead, and then the other person might just gather the tools to make sure we get there. So yes, it would be nice per the way we were raised in our generation
It
to
depends on
have,
your values and your
yeah,
belief
to have
system.
like a man be the leader. But also it's, if you are in a two woman, situation, and you
If
do,
you
these are things you do have to consider, then
Well, then we're getting outside of the gender war situation,
but
and
then that's,
that's
well,
I
see,
don't.
then how about this?
Yeah.
Then why is it that it's a straight issue? Is this a straight problem issue? Because if we're still, wow, this went somewhere really quick, but this is a straight person's issue.
But why?
And is
Is
there
it?
more peace and same gender type of relationship?
I
I
have
mean,
no idea.
we would have no idea, but I mean, I think that's what it all boils down to, right?
Also, too, I think that in a true team environment, you lead in different areas. Where, like, if you want to consider a traditional family or something, where the woman is the housekeeper or whatever,
Yeah.
the homemaker, she leads in that area. She leads in certain decisions in the home. Or if, it comes to the kids, like someone will lead in that area. I think generally speaking, there is a captain on a ship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't know if there could be two captains.
No, I think that's the point of, initially it was stated that like the man leads, and it's basically
Yeah.
the strength leads. And then going again, there's going to be somebody, like I said before, gathering the tools and the thing that's needed to get us there. And
Yeah.
then the person with the mind and the patience to lead the way shall be the leader in that. Because there's just not one area to lead in. In that
Absolutely.
same journey, there's going to be another event that happens that needs focus and a leader in that. So maybe that's where, the woman or the other person can use their talents or strength. But that totally leads into the next one. Why does every conversation online feel like team man versus team woman?
I don't know.
Everything, and again, straight issue. But why is it team men versus team women? When it goes back to that competition, right? Like,
Yeah.
what pinned us against one another?
I don't know.
Like, it started so suddenly too. Like, in our lifetime, I don't feel like I've ever seen this much discontent between men and women.
I don't think so. I think probably to your point about just the evolvement of women, in the workplace, women being higher earners, women having their
In some
businesses
fields.
in some fields.
Some are totally
and
male oriented.
for sure. But we live in a time where in our community, Black women are the most educated. So that brings a different approach to relationships and how women view ourselves in, the social
Yeah,
light.
I think if we are to be honest, we're seeing most of the combativeness in African American community online.
Certain conversations aren't
I mean,
I guess too, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I feel like those conversations aren't had in other communities.
I mean, they are definitely had.
Yeah.
They are definitely had. And also it's where we choose to zoom and focus on, right?
Sure.
Like, we're not on a Jewish channel. We're not on a Chinese channel.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are two women sitting somewhere like, what's up with these Chinese men? We're just not well versed in that area.
Yeah.
So speaking from what we see, what our algorithm puts on our screens, we do see team man versus team woman. And if we are speaking about higher earners, then I think that's like the key role. Gosh, this sounds very 1950, but women are no longer in our at the house. We can't be, because there are so many broken homes, first and foremost, where yes, people like to say, back in the day my grandpa, he provided for the family. That's cool, but are you doing the same thing? Because in this day and age, you basically have to meet the inflation values. So you have to work really hard. You have to make sure that you are taking care of all your children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that that's not being considered. There are people who sold their royal oats maybe too young. So now that they are 40, they got 3 baby mamas and 6 or 7 children.
Yeah.
And that's expensive if they are to put their focus,
Yeah.
into their family.
Yeah.
So I think that women basically just stepped up, because for the ones who care for their children, they stepped up because there was no one else to do that job. What that also meant, that is, while we're doing our best at home, we accidentally end up doing our best at work, right? Showing up, learning the business acumen of the company, then getting promoted for that. And then that's when a higher income comes, or be in an environment where you say, this doesn't suit me. I want a license in something else. I want a higher degree somewhere else. So we're already in that area. We know how to move to the next step. Whereas, we end up thriving in that. And then, of course, a man's going to think you doing too much. Some men, or you have the ones that are going to support you. But then again, they wouldn't be, team man versus woman at that point. But I think it starts with seeing a need, being left with children, and trying to do the best to provide for your family, and accidentally being amazing at it. And
and carrying that over into
absolutely
those workspaces. So
yeah,
it's like you are a boss at work, and then it carries over into your life. Do you feel like, women should be able to turn that off?
Oh, no.
No.
And this is slightly from experience, right? Gosh, this feels very personal. Someone just said this to me the other day, and turning it off, it depends on what. I mean, the information you provide at work is, again, the acumen for that location. And then at home, it's for your children and for your household. So naturally, you're not using the same sort of acumen. So it's not about like turning it on or off. It's, if I function as a boss at work because I'm a people leader, then naturally I'm a leader, right? And I'm going to come home and I'm going to lead. I'm going to start organizing my household because I've been gone all day. So that's me, depending on the type of person. I'm going to walk in the house and I'm going to say, hey, I've been at work all day. Have you done your chores, your part? Once everything is done, then you can turn into like, okay, like, this is my home space. Like, let me kind of like shed that. But you always have it in you, because it's who you are. You were becoming that without being like,
I didn't know I was as hyper independent as I was until I got into a relationship where someone pointed out and wanted to.
Which one?
The scholar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was, making sure that I knew I was in a space where you don't have to do that. Like,
but do cool. What?
For example, to your point, like, this should be that way. This, and going into, I don't know, I think we were like cooking or something like that, and I'm just like, okay, in mode, like, this is what we need to do. Da, da, da. He's like, just relax. I got it. Chill. And so it's like, okay,
I would love that. Okay, and that's a great example, because for the person who asks me to do that, they don't do that, right? Like there is no chef in my household outside of me. There is no,
So
you
that
get what I'm saying?
so that's the point is I think okay when
Oh,
you
you found
hear
it. I see the aha moment.
when you hear men talk about, oh, you need to be able to turn that off, are you creating that environment for me to turn it off? I want to turn it off.
Friend, do you remember when I told you, I'm going to just go there? When we went to an event,
Yeah.
and it was our very first event together type of thing. And I was so excited to go out. It was a venue. I'm trying to think. It was a concert.
Mm-hmm.
It probably was a concert. Yeah, it was a concert or something. But I'm very vigilant
Mm-hmm.
and I hyper focus on things. And this night, dressed up and super excited to look good as a couple. And I
Mm-hmm.
said to myself, baby, I'm going to turn my brain off and let you just like lead this whole evening, because it was a planned evening that yeah, it was a planned evening. I paid for it, and which was a gift. I was proud to do that. So it was paid for, and all I had to do was like just finish the rest. I get dressed, pick me up. Like I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to be picked up, the whole shindig, and it all happened beautifully in
Yeah.
terms of getting dressed by myself. Come to my door, come get me. I'm in a car. We're going. We get in a parking lot. We're on time because I'm very efficient, and we're the only car in this section because we are early. Mind you, we
It's
was only
good.
like 45 minutes early. But for a venue of that size, by the time we got to our seats, we were there like 10 minutes before the show. So the point is, I say, I can't wait to shut off my brain, take the lead. This is all you. I get out the car, I do a glance around, but it's just out of habit. And
Yeah.
then, we carry on. We enjoy ourselves after the concert. We back in the parking lot, and we just walking side by side, not thinking anything of it. I'm following, him, thinking like, yeah, we got this. And soon I realized we passed a certain color parking lot more than twice at this point. So I'm like, whoa, what are we doing? He was like, I'm following you.
Oh.
You following me? I said I turned my brain off a long time ago. And this is your evening to shine and to lead, because of the fact that in every area of my life, I am a leader. So this time,
Yeah.
I'm gonna, you say you want to lead, let somebody, you want to be the man, go ahead, enjoy yourself. And then I'm like, excuse me, why would I be leading anything? I said I'm not leading. Now the frustration kicks in, right? Now it's the I thought we was walking where you thought we parked. And I was like so irritated at that point anyway, because I'm a tone girl, like, chill for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, okay, I see an attendant in the garage. I was like, we are lost. We cannot find the car. Is there a way you can help us? He said, yeah, show me your ticket. And I had the ticket. And then he was like, okay, so this means you're in this section. So you are definitely on the right,
Okay.
floor.
Okay.
And then my brain immediately kicks in. I was like, oh, if I walk this way, is that a corridor? Are you going to be able to pass through every color? Because one thing I knew is we parked in yellow. He didn't even know that. So thank God I got off the car earlier and looked around, took a deep breath, and just kind of, followed my way in. He was like, yeah, there's a cut through that's going to pass all the garage. I said, cool, I know, I can get us there. So now I decided I will take the lead and got us to our car after, again, walking around the parking lot probably 45 minutes. And so I said to myself, I'm never going to shut my brain off again. Naturally, he became offended, right? Because it was more like, man, he had one job and he kind of failed. I didn't make him feel bad for it because it was already a long night,
Sure.
but that let me know that strong suit is not this area.
Okay.
So then next time we go out, I just have to be my vigilant self. You know what I mean? But I usually preface preface like the things when we go out saying like, I'm going to shut my brain off. And that means that I'm not going to participate. I'm going to let you lead. And the second time it happened again. And this is where
Same parking situation, or it's just in a different
a
area.
similar situation. And then I had to have a chit chat like, listen, I'm the kind of girl that needs to know what's happening.
So when is it like you say, okay, this is my area, I work best in this, let me handle it, versus a man might be like, I'm always that person, I want to be that person at all times, I want you to look to me for those sort of things. Like, how do you know when that's
you know your strengths, right?
Yeah.
Like we talk about this. I'm very well with directions, right? We always be like, I'm the directionally challenged one, and it's like, cool, I got you, right? I say that to you because we're two women, and it's okay for us to be there. If you drive there, I'm gonna do the rest. Like, I enjoy that. We function very well that way.
Right.
But when a man says like he's gonna take charge, and I let him and trust him to do that twice, and
I think that's different too. If they're saying this is on me,
this was on them,
yeah.
And so we had a conversation because I didn't want to do man versus woman. I wanted to say, hey, I'm recognizing that this isn't your strength, but what is your strength, right? That part became like, we're still getting to know each other anyhow, so let's just throw that in there. What is your strength? Because there are going to be some days where I'm going to be better at something than you are, and that's when a man has to be okay with that.
And that's a relationship too.
Absolutely.
Like, yes, there are areas, there are days, there are times when you just don't have it.
Yeah.
And so it is important to know when do you have me, and what areas do you have me, and when you don't. Because everybody brings their full self, and sometimes you're not your full self for whatever reason. But what is the areas that you shine in? What are the
I shine in every area.
Of course you do.
No. I mean, so far, but that also might mean this person is not for me. And that's the rude awakening for maybe both of us, right? Because I have brain exhaustion where I'm tired of overthinking, right?
Because
where I'd like to be relieved.
You lead at work, you lead in your extended family, you lead at home, you lead.
My life is very full.
Your life is very full.
Going through a giant shift.
Yeah.
There are things that like are coming up that are just like, it's a lot. And so sometimes I just don't have the capacity to want to take on the responsibility when I'm with my partner, right? I'm ready for that partner to alleviate some stress, and we can be doing something very like relaxing or fun, and that suits me. But also, if we're going to go out, I need you to own the outing. So the next time he was able to plan an outing, he did take control of it, right? It was, he led the complete way, and that worked out well. So it makes me see, or makes me realize that like, if he plans it through and through and I really don't participate in anything, he might do better. And so that's the area, what I'm learning.
Finding out the dance of how.
Yeah. And also the other person might just need growth too, because no one has held them responsible for anything. I've been married before, he hasn't, right? So expectations of what each person does is slightly different, and he's learning.
If you could do it all over again in certain situations, would you choose to be with somebody who has been married before? Because we talked about.
Oh yeah, that's tricky.
We talked about kids. Remember before, it was like,
as soon as I got divorced, I was like, I don't want a man who's had marriage or children.
Yeah, but then you learn men who have children love differently.
Oh yes.
Men who have been married understand women differently.
They do.
So,
and great point, friend. And then there was that idealistic man, who had the height, who had the real estate, no children, no marriage, and he loved his personal space, and boy oh boy was he boring. Life was too easy for him.
We hate boring.
And let me tell you, we have to clarify. Boring does not mean that like we're trying to ignite drama in anything. It
Right.
just means like, can we go outside for a walk?
Right. Do something,
That's it.
plan something
Plan
interesting.
something. You
Yeah.
remember when he said like one of his best friends were out at this fabulous place. This is the first time we went to that place, right?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So he said his friend was going to this fabulous place, but he didn't want to go because he tired. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. Zay. I think we should go out and let's pop up on so and so. He's going to be at, our spot. It became our spot. And it went according to plan.
Yeah.
We totally surprised him. He was sitting by himself because his best friend didn't want to go. And he had the time of his life.
Yeah.
And I've never spent as much money. I mean, he spent it on us.
I was going to say, I don't think
we didn't spend anything, but
yeah.
I don't think anybody spent that much money on us ever.
Yeah. Boring does not mean like, can we have an interesting relationship drama free?
Yes.
Interesting and drama free.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like interesting does not include toxicity.
No, not for us. All right. Do you think that social media reflects real life or it just amplifies the loudest people?
The loud collective.
Social media reflects real life? Nah. Social media perspective. When I had social media, I used to, my tagline used to say, my perspective, your perception. And so basically, I was aware that I am putting something out there from my perspective. And then the way you perceive that information was a personal issue. But obviously, we weren't showcasing drama or that. And
so
I don't want to see that, though.
Yeah, social media is the cropped and edited and filtered version of whatever it is you're putting out there. Whatever storyline, whatever you want people to believe and absorb about your life, that's what it is. It is very curated. Mm-hmm. So no, it's not real.
Nah, because I don't even know why that's a question, because we're also aware. I think the point that here is amplifies the loudest people. I guess it also depends on your platform.
Well, I guess that kind of goes back into the competing or the men versus women thing. Mm-hmm. But that one I think is a real thing, or either is social media impacting the real conversations that are being had at the table, because I feel like there's the social media war, gender war, but in real life, I think.
Or is this one of the chicken or the egg conversation? Is the at-home conversation perpetuated by the fact that it's so popular on social media, right? Yeah. Because nowadays, all we do is kryptonesia, right? We just sort of relay information that we heard on the outside anyway.
Say that again.
Kryptonesia. It's basically, and sometimes it happens without. Most of the times it happens without us really knowing. But we're just repeating something that we've read or heard, and it's stuck in our memory. Mm-hmm. And if you get really good at it, it's plagiarism verbally, verbal plagiarism. So I think in that way, that's a version of what we're doing, right? Are we at home having conversations the way we are having them due to the fact that they're highlighted on social media? And in this regard, I do think this is a topic that it's been so frustrating for, I think what we realized, maybe this is another COVID 2020 thing. By being enclosed with one another, we are seeing people for who they truly are. Mm-hmm. And we're finding the collective genders are sort of behave in a certain way, whether it's good or bad. Mm-hmm. And everybody ran to social media because that's when it got really popular during COVID times, to share what's happening in their house, with their relationships, who stayed married, who divorced, who found out about a side chick, who had a baby. You know what I'm saying? And it all revolved around men and women, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that the war, so to speak, is, yeah, it's getting tough. We're finally seeing some behavior that's always been prevalent, but it's been highlighted by the
Because of social
loudest
media.
people
Yeah.
who are like, are y'all also seeing this within your relationship? This
And
isn't
then you
right.
identify like, oh wait, yeah, that's happening
Yep.
here. Like, oh,
Two words, right, that became super popular: gaslighting and narcissism.
oh, yeah.
Those two
It's very
words,
overused.
well, it's overused, but they were, they were highlighted specifically during that time because, again, you're enclosed with people who you thought you knew, and
So this is a post-COVID epidemic.
possible, right? Like it's always been brewing. I think
Yeah,
that
because of the evolvement of society,
mm,
women no longer need men in the way that they used to. So it I think evolved in that regard.
uh, now here's the thing: I would like to have a man the way it was intended for me to have a man. Going back to being that leader, provider, security,
Yeah.
financial leader. I would like that. I think, though, it's challenging because on the other side you have men fearing for, clutching their pockets, thinking every woman is a gold digger, and that, or out to get them because of these loud conversations that are pinning men against women and vice versa.
Yeah. And then
So
there's the women that take that information where a man should be doing this and doing that and doing that, but you're not doing the work to sort of attract that kind
yeah.
of man, but you automatically think that it's supposed to be that way. In the same way that men think that they're automatically supposed to be revered as this leader, but you haven't done the work to position yourself as a leader. So there's these ideologies that are being had and these conversations being had and spread because we are more connected in the way of social media, and you take those ideologies without understanding
Yeah,
the work that goes behind it.
nowadays, because
Yeah.
I'm a pause there. There was no work that was really needed behind it back in the day, and that's where
Hmm.
those it all starts from, right? Like it did start from the olden days, and the work that needed to be done for a woman was cook and clean. That's it. Bearing children, and then for a man, it was just providing. It could, I don't even know what that really looked like. Yes, the cliche is get a job, carpentry, whatever. But it was very simple back then. Unfortunately, with the way that the economy is, it's not enough for a household to just have a woman to cook and clean, right? Like, and bear
Some
children.
household.
No, the provider then has to be able to carry all that financial weight of a household, taking care of a wife who's not working, children who needs daycare or care, and also all the bills. That takes a certain type of man, one who's extremely educated or extremely intelligent, running a company, creating their own business,
Mm.
and and they can't. It's easy to do if you have the support, financially support,
Mm.
And granted, you can live in a trailer and have those same things, but I think people want more.
So to your point, you were saying like there was no work needed back in the day, right? When everybody like had their roles and in their
It
place.
was work, but it was done on the very basics level. Yeah.
Right, but there were also very limited expectations in terms of um relationship. There wasn't that the emotional intelligence
Oh yeah,
piece.
yeah, yeah.
There wasn't women revered other than objects basically or property. So the evolution of what how women see themselves in society brings about there has to be work done on both sides beyond just the bare necessities of
Yes.
the traditional housewife and the provider husband. There's so much more that's involved now.
Yeah, I think that's when it got men. Um, that's what we're seeing, because you see them always alluding to the fact, well, my grandma, she was stressed out and probably unhappy. You can't keep using your grandma, because your grandpa was probably stepping out, right?
Yeah.
Your grandpa wasn't probably that nice, and their relationship probably wasn't healthy. And we don't want that anymore. You know what I mean?
And that's
Even
the
if I
thing,
didn't
yeah.
work, I don't want a man to be cruel to me,
Right.
to ignore me. Like, I could be alone. Like, you know what I'm saying? I would choose to be alone than to just settle for the sake of
Yeah.
what? I don't even know what it's called. Like, what? Marriage to do what? Like, it was a business deal
Yeah,
in the beginning anyway.
it was.
Yeah. Okay. So, have you ever caught yourself making assumptions about an entire gender because of one experience?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What was one?
Especially coming out of a marriage.
What was your assumption about men due to a failed marriage? You thought all men.
No, I felt like, dang.
Yeah. No, share.
So, I felt like men who were highly masculine that came along with abuse.
Ah.
So, yeah, that's what I thought initially.
Okay, so you thought if a man showed like that he was really masculine, he was abusive?
Yep.
And you thought that without really knowing that person?
Yep.
Okay, it's crazy because I lived with a bodybuilder and he was soft, and I never thought anybody was abusive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, if I did I take one experience and make it a thing for everyone else? No. Now, I don't know why. I don't know why. I never thought that, like, I guess the closest would be to, I don't like to use quantitatives, but I thought most men lie in some capacity. That was I blame it all on the gender. So again, most, not all, I am aware. And that's my assumption that I carried from one relationship. Mm-hmm. But then I realized I wasn't wrong, because if I were to go through the list, there was a fib. And let's say this, sometimes even if it wasn't a lie directly to me, right? Like, it was a lie to someone else, and that has to do with integrity, which at some point or another, I'm going to want you to have integrity. And let me just preface this by saying I am imperfect. There have been moments where I failed too, and somebody probably will use time with me to say that all women are beautiful.
Ooh, but that is a good question. What do you think
if there was a compilation of one word, or
because of I had this experience with her, I believe all women are
capable of doing everything on their own. Keep going. I could do this all day.
Okay, let's on the other side of it too. Like, what? I don't know. That's a tough one. Like, that would take some deep.
Or honestly, speaking of boring, I'm gonna be real, and I'm gonna say, I'll say that I think that when people get with me, and this is an assumption for the entire race, but it's most women at the end of the day, we're little girls. Like,
but that's true.
When you're in our space, and again, it's a comfort thing. And if we allowed you in our house, that means we allowed you in our space. And once we got really comfortable to shed all the
playful part.
Yeah,
of the playful ego comes out.
Absolutely. I know for a fact that, like, I'm an ambivert most of the times, but I do have a higher extroverted qualities.
Yes, ambivert.
I am an ambivert. Ask people who know me. Clearly, you don't.
I know you.
You don't know me. You know me sometimes, but this is my ambivert part. I would rather be alone with you not out with everybody else. That's when I
Understood.
ambivert. I'm not an introvert in any regard. You know, it's just I'm more extroverted, but
Yeah, yeah.
ambivert because I'm very choosy. With all of that being said, though, I think that you know the inner child in me.
Yes, when you
At the
feel
end of the
safe.
day, I think that most of us who were raised safe
Mhm.
and in a semi-healthy environment, meaning yes, some moments may have deterred you and scarred you, but overall there was somebody in your life who cared for you
Yeah.
and you didn't have to confront that issue again, and that's also important, you know.
Absolutely. I think in having those
Yeah.
connections with people healed that generalization where it's
Mhm.
like, oh no, because being comfortable with, okay, masculinity is so much more than
Yeah.
aggression. That's not,
Yeah.
that actually isn't
It's
masculinity.
not,
So
and
that's,
I'm
that
happy
was,
that you don't think that anymore.
yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
And so I had to redefine what masculinity is to me. So yeah.
What is masculinity to you?
Hmm. I
Or
think
are you still finding out?
no, I think the biggest thing is a bit of stoicism, not being emotional, being able to, step back, observe, and respond to things in a calm way. That is a very masculine energy to
I
take
think
your
that's
emotion out of
maturity
it.
too, and I
Yeah.
say that because I think that a lot of times, you know, emotional maturity shows you emotional intelligence tell you to step away from the problem, observe it before you react.
Yeah.
I was told that a man told me I want the opportunity to share my emotions um, because you know the last relationship I was in, they said that I was emotional whenever I shared how I felt about something. She said, "Why are you getting so emotional?" And he was offended. And
Okay.
so then he came to me and was like, "I want the opportunity to share my emotions." And I realized she was right.
Damn.
She, and I want
I didn't see that
yeah,
coming.
I want you to be able to share your emotions with me too, but I also want you to regulate them.
Yeah. There's a
Um,
difference between, so emotions are information, right? So you being emotional doesn't is very different than emotional awareness. Like you can be, you can hold your emotions, observe them, and communicate what that means, but that takes the maturity. It takes
yeah.
a level of self-awareness and understanding. But if you're just like dumping emotions, like I want to just dump emotions on you with,
Not even it wasn't even in his case it was not even the dumping emotions on you. It's like a tantrum.
oh,
You get what I'm saying?
that's, yeah,
And to come into a relationship and say I want to be able to have a space and be emotional, then you need to be able to control your feelings and know how to act when you feel sad. You do have to think about those things still. I mean,
yeah,
especially like I have children, so I'm always thinking like in front of them, like, you know, I have to be respectful how I do certain things. I don't want to scream and yell and have a tantrum and bang on a wall and fall to the
yeah.
floor because they're not listening. So, to wrap up the conversation, I think it's fair that we
Mm-hmm.
recognize there is some good in both genders for sure.
Absolutely.
So, what is now one belief about men that's actually good that you had to unlearn? You had to say, you know what, they're not so bad, and this is why.
You go first.
I'm still going through the Rolodex. But, um, well, one thing that I had to unlearn is they're not all men yet, even though they look the part. So that goes for our young men who are 18 and the expectations we have with them, all the way to our young men who are 55 and we have expectations for them. Um, sometimes we want the older gentlemen to have a purpose and know their purpose. I had to unlearn the fact that they don't all have that knowledge about what their purpose is. And it doesn't make them a bad guy. And it's okay for them to still be searching. But then you have to be honest with yourself and say, is this person for me? So I unlearned the fact that they all should be ready. It doesn't make them a bad guy when they're not. It's just for this time in my life, what I find suitable for me.
Hmm.
You didn't think that was as positive?
No.
It's still like poor men. No. I think at the end of the day, like we did say too, they have an inner child that wants to be tended to and respected. I think they won't respect, and they don't know how to. They shouldn't have to ask, which is fair. But I think they're all craving acknowledgement, even when they're not good at something. That's what I realized.
That I would say.
Oh my gosh,
having sons have taught me so much.
They're so sweet.
Yeah, having sons have taught me so much about communicating and that respect thing. Mm-hmm. It is in their DNA, like that to the core is so important in how you speak.
Yeah.
Whether it's tonality, how you approach correction, yes, or accountability. That is something that is, that is very important. And they want to feel seen and heard. They want to feel like that they're capable, even if they're not.
You're right. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I guess there's been so many things that I have learned, like unlearning, not generalizing men. That's just not fair because everybody comes from different environments. Yeah. So,
cool. Thank you. All right, we're going to do a quick would you rather round, quick answers. Starting with, would you rather know someone loves you but struggles to show it? Or would you rather hear, I love it, I do. I love you every day, but they
don't show it?
Mm-hmm.
No, show me.
Show me. Yeah. You don't even have to say it. Actions speak louder than words. I mean, we learned that back in the 80s. All right. Would you rather be single for 5 years or settle for someone who isn't your person? Just single for 5 years.
I've done that already.
Yes. And it's pretty nice.
I'm okay.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, gosh.
That's not even debatable.
Yes. Okay. Would you rather have closure or have peace? Is closure peace?
That's what I'm like. They're synonymous to me. I mean, I understand that you don't always get the closure and you have to find peace with that. But I'm someone that...
Why?
Not even. I have to...
Tell me.
I have to let you know how I feel. Like I have to get it out. I might be a email or something like that, but...
Email? Who you emailing?
Everybody. That's usually how I end it, with a nice email.
Well, I just block them.
I'm not a blocker. I
say this isn't for me, and they're like, "Why?" And then I block.
Nah, I'm like, you know what?
And then I have peace.
I'm like, you know what? This is all the things that were wrong. This is what you did.
He was like, if you can see the first 3 bullet points right here, it states
Exhibit A and B.
This is weird. It says back in 2023, you had childlike underwear in your room. Delete that aligns. I'm going to circle back to that because it also aligns with section 4, number 3. If you could just look at that part, a nail in the bed wasn't mine. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Cut. You gave me didn't know. I'm a drama student. Okay. Reset. Reset. Okay.
What is wrong?
Okay, delete that out. We ain't gonna have time to get to our last one. How do we? Okay, well, like, we'll just wrap it up. I feel like I'm in trouble now. Oh my god, it is hot. Okay.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. Okay. What do we say again? How do we start off? All right.
So, what shift are you looking forward to?
I'm looking for a positive shift. I mean, at this point, and the type of few weeks that I had going on, I'm looking for the shift to not be dramatic.
Peaceful shift.
I'm looking for a slight transition, if you will, that elevates me further, right? In all the areas, financially, spiritually, just emotionally, and all the positive areas.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of a lift and shift, if you will.
A lift and shift.
A lift and shift. And how about you?
I am looking forward. What am I looking forward to? Maybe a shift. There's so many things on my plate right now. I'm looking for a shift to unload. I want to shift into a vacation or shift into something that takes me away from the monotony of life.
Yes. And I guess that's one of the things when you don't have a partner who is settled or, able to assist in certain areas. You know, like, it would be nice to unburden some of this, if you will. But not just on them, but just like release it, and they say, it's okay, I got this. I'll help you. Can't do that with gender wars.
No, we
need
each other.
I wave my white flag.
We would do so much better if we both
had unity. Yeah.
To what?
Had unity.
And work to understand each other.
Absolutely.
Like, if we really, took the time to understand, because there's two different species, right?
Yeah.
And we really,
that's how we like to think about them.
They really are. They just say, you could say something and they interpret it completely different and vice versa. But anyway, truce. All right. Thank you. Do we say the Swifties? I mean, the shifties.
Thank you to our shifties for listening.